All right, ladies and gents, thanks for stopping by. SCL Predictions coming at you here in just a second. My name is Tyger, SCL Caster, and I have brought a special friend. Gore will be joining me for the predictions today just so we can knock two videos out with one's done.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because we were talking about this before we started. These teams, some of them have a slight risk going on. They can still kind of push themselves into the spots they need to be. Others not quite as fortunate, so it's going to be interesting to see because a lot of these games, there's a little bit on the line.
Exactly. I'm going to go through the standings, the points, everything with you. We're going to explain what's going to happen just in case you are new and don't understand the point system and the LAN itself. So, only 4 NA teams will be going to LAN and 2 EU teams. There are a couple that are already secure, but this week is going to be huge for some of the other teams, just so we can figure out who is actually going. So, without further ado, schedule. As you can see, I wasn't able to really do anything much for week 6, but week 7. Most Wanted, also known as Return, versus Kingdom Esports. Most Wanted are safe. Kingdom Esports aren't going at this point. So it's more of a team building exercise for Kingdom.
Yeah, Kingdom, actually, last week, I think it was, I thought they were going to do so much more than they did. Because in week 5, they surprised me, right? I was completely ready to count them out.
Yeah.
And they found, I think, the one win that they have. And they looked really strong. They played aware and they were able to take a game. And then last week, they showed me that, no, I should not have put my trust in them at all.
Oh, no.
And this week, kind of feeling the same way with them, where it's kind of like they have that potential, and like you said, this is going to be really good for team building, but it's just not strong enough to take down
the top team. This is the top team. Return have 18 points currently. My prediction, as well as Gore Miser's, we've already pre-agreed on what we're gonna what our numbers are, so that way we're not going back and forth. Most Wanted, or as you know them as now, Return, 18 points currently. With this 2-0, they will have 21. They don't play anymore that day. Instead, it's going to next up be Soar and Aware. And this is a very crucial game because, let me pull out my numbers here. Eager have 16 points. Aware have 13 points. Elevate has 11 and Soar have 9. Soar need to take a game off of Aware just to get some points, just to get something. But last time we saw these guys fight, week 1, it was a 2-0 for Aware. Or at least that's the most decisive game that we've seen between the two of them, was a 2-0 from Aware in week 1.
I want to give Soar the benefit of the doubt, because last week I thought they were going to have a rough time against Eager. I thought that they were going to go into it, maybe be able to give them a couple bumps, early game fights, maybe even some mid games fights, but ultimately Eager was going to be able to snuff out the fire that Soar had going for them.
Right.
And then they got this really, I guess, that was healing oriented. They had to go on you.
Yeah.
And Eager didn't counter build it. And I feel like Soar can excel if they have the right comp. So it's kind of it's on Aware here to get the bans and to pay attention to it. So if Aware has done their homework, they could 2-0 here.
Yeah.
But I feel like Soar is going to be able to come in with just a little bit of a surprise.
All right. Yep. I agree. I think it's going to be a split, because Soar desperately wants to go to LAN, as do Aware Gaming. The big upset could be Soar play twice, as well as Elevate play twice. Aware only play once. This is their only opportunity to get any kind of points. They're either going to be stuck with 16, they're going to be stuck with 13, find a 2-0 and get to 16, or only get 1 point and be at 14. Because of that, if Elevate get a 2-0, they're going to take that step above. If Soar can get a 2-0, or 2 2-0s, then you see where the ladder is starting to kind of shift, but Soar and Aware going to be a split. Eager and Elevate. Eager are secure. They have 16 points. However, going up against Elevate, I do not think that they're going to be able to find the 2-0 or the split. Eager have surprised us before in the reverse, where we've had games taken off of them in a surprising manner. I don't think we're going to see that again. So, in my opinion, 2-0 Eager.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same thing. Just Eager a little bit stronger overall than Elevate will be. I think Elevate is going to be a strong team.
Yeah.
But I think in this kind of scenario against other teams in this in the split, they might have had like a stronger chance, especially against teams like Kingdom. But against Eager, who's sitting up there, it's kind of like just climbing a mountain with no gear.
And it's funny because our logo is a mountain. Either way, Eager 2-0.
Oh, that works so perfectly.
Boom. Next up, Soar and Elevate. The second game is very important, as is the fourth. Soar, we don't really see them taking 2-0 off of Aware. So at this point, if predictions go as normal, and we get them right, then Soar will have 10 points. Elevate have 11 at this point. We don't think they were able to take a game off of Eager. This is all hypothetical. So Soar need to 2-0 Elevate. This is a very decisive game because at this point, this is going to be 1 or 3 points to both or each team, or to both or one team.
And Elevate, again, I don't know, like the last couple weeks they've been strong. They just haven't had the same, I guess, like click that they had early on. Like they seem to be kind of slowing down. Like the team isn't meshing as well as it used to. And I'm kind of thinking that Soar should be able to take advantage of that. Again, I think if Elevate can get kind of like a good pick and ban phase, if they do their homework, they have a good potential to take a game here. But Soar ultimately seeming a little bit stronger, even though technically they're lower.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So hypothetically, like we mentioned, Soar would have 10 points. If they take this 2-0, they will have 13. They will beat out Elevate. If we don't see that, then it's going to end up being 1 point to each, and it'll be 11 points for Soar and 12 points for Elevate. So I think it's going to go 2-0 for Soar, and I think that they're going to be able to get in by the skin of their teeth. I think they will be the last seed at LAN. Tuesday, it's all about EU. EU is much more, I guess, cut and dry because we don't have as many games to worry about, but also cut and dry because Rival have 20 points. They're already secure. They've been secure for a very long time. And we can't forget how strong Rival are. We can't just ignore the fact that more than likely we're going to see a 2-0 coming out from Rival no matter who they play. We've seen it all season. The only real thing that I feel like happened last week were the DC. They had some fun picks, but the DC really, really hurt them. But it's not this game. This game is Excellence versus Cyclone. Cyclone have 9 points. Excellence have 6 points. And Excel have 8. So, I mean, Cyclone are currently the closest to going to LAN. I'm trying to not confuse you guys with numbers, I promise. Cyclone are the 2nd seed right now. Excellence are the 4th seed at the bottom. Cyclone need a 2-0 to secure their spot just absolutely completely. Excellence want the 2-0 to tie themselves with Cyclone.
And it's going to be, yeah, because these teams, like, I feel like Europe's been really volatile except for Rival. Like,
yeah.
Excellence, right now, like, just looking at their win-loss, 5 wins, 11 losses. But the 5 wins they have been against teams that you'd think, wait, like, you were able to do that? Like, they seemed like a 4th seed easily in the first week.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been able to at least, like, climb up a little bit. So it's kind of nice to see them up there. But Cyclone kind of has the same story, just at a higher level. Like, Excellence has been in that 4th place, able to find games off of 3rd and 2nd sometimes. Cyclone's like that 2nd place, 3rd place that's able to find games off of numbers 2 and 1 whenever they fall into any of those, like, whichever position they fall in. So it's going to be interesting. I think both, like, I honestly could say this could go as a split, but like you said, both of these teams are going to be kind of playing hard to push themselves into a better position.
And to be fair, it doesn't matter if they split. If they split, Excellence don't go to LAN. That's really what it comes down to. Excellence need a 2-0 or they do not go to LAN. And that's not even guaranteeing their spot at LAN. That's just to tie with Cyclone. That's it.
I don't see them finding a 2-0. Like, even, like, being gracious, it would be a split.
The biggest thing, the only real upset that I see, say Excellence gets a 2-0. Awesome. Tie with Cyclone. Everybody's got 9 points. Next match is going to be Rival and Excel. Rival, they're nice and happy. Excel, previously known as Retribution, have 8 points. We could possibly have a 3-way tie if they split. So, Excellence are still not in any better position if they find the 2-0. But that's the only thing that's going to keep them as a possibility to get to LAN.
At that point, I mean, even looking at that, so say they split, they get that point, more than likely they'd have to just go up against Cyclone again, I guess, as a tiebreaker, depending on what happens with Retribution. But
well, no, if they split, there's no tiebreaker between the two of them.
Oh, there wouldn't be?
No, Excellence have 6 points. The only way there'd be a tiebreaker is if Excellence 2-0.
Right. So if Excellence 2-0s,
yes,
miracle happens. They find 2 games. They tie with Cyclone. I don't see XL having any real hand in that because, I mean, we've both agreed, and it's kind of obvious when you look at the next match. Rival is just sitting as too much of a Goliath to really take down, kind of showing like a huge gap between first and second here.
And another problem is if Cyclone take 1 game, even if there is a split, Cyclone take 1 game, they get 10 points. Excellence, nowhere nearby. Excel, if they only find 1 game, that puts them at 9. They're still under. The only way we can have a 3-way tie is if Excellence 2-0 Cyclone and Excel take a game off of Rival. But that being said, going back to Excellence and Cyclone, you think 2-0 Cyclone? Or do you think split?
2-0 Cyclone. I personally, part of me wants to put the split. Part of me wants to give the benefit of the doubt to Excellence. But last week, even though there was a DC, Cyclone still played relatively well.
Yeah.
They've kind of been falling down. Like earlier on in the split, they seemed like a really solid second place. They've been kind of tumbling down the hill. I think Excellence will give them some trouble. But yeah, I think it's gonna be more likely of a 2-0 in favor of Cyclone, but it could equally be a split between the two.
All right, Retribution and Rival. No real hesitation here. I believe 2-0 Rival. If Retribution do find a game, or Retribution, now known as Return. Not Return. Gosh, Excel. There's so many new names and rosters, and it's killing me. But Retribution, now known as Excel, need a 2-0 here. They're not going to find it. Unless Rival throw, because they're already secure in their spot anyway. So at this point, I think it's a 2-0 Rival, which means if things go our way, Cyclone going to find themselves 3 points. It's going to put them at 12, and nobody comes close to that. But we've talked about all the different scenarios. We've talked about what can happen. We talked about how big of an upset or the possible 3-way tie that we might see, may or may not. Any closing thoughts?
It's just a lot of these games. Like this week, some of them are kind of close, like Aware and Soar could really go either way.
Yeah.
And the same thing kind of... I want to say it could go either way for Excellence and Cyclone in the sense that it could either be a split or a 2-0. I think it's leaning a little bit more in the 2-0 in favor of Cyclone, but most of it seems really cut and dry, like you had said. Elevate, not very strong. Kingdom, I mean, we don't even need to look at them, really. Overall, the first seed's pretty obvious in both sides, so trying to fight for those last spots in the LAN, more or less in Europe, it seems like it's set.
Yep. All right, so here's the TLDR. I will let you know at what point to click to find this if you do not want to listen to the whole video. You are missing out, though. Most Wanted, 2-0, Soar Aware, 1-1. Eager, 2-0, Soar, 2-0, Cyclone, 2-0, Rival, 2-0. So, we will see. There are lots of potentials for splits. I'm crossing my fingers that we do see some. I don't want to see too big of an upset, but I definitely want to see all of these teams at LAN. Unfortunately, I will only be able to see 6. 4 NA and 2 EU. But thank you for watching. This is Tyger and Gore joining together for our prediction video. And see you guys on the mic.